Right? That's all right.
You're good there. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you guys ever had inspections before?
No.
Okay, so whenever there is an inspection, there's always going to be some stuff. No such thing as a perfect home. Also, I'm not here to nitpick. Small and cosmetic issues do not go into the report. Maintenance issues do, because we're here to find major concerns or things that are significantly deficient. So I'm done the outside. I'm going to do the roof at the end with the drone. Now that we're in, we're going to start in the attic and then just go down and around each level. I do encourage you guys to stick around, ask as many questions as you want, point things out if you want. I do ask that you hold your questions until I'm in that area. So if I'm in the attic, we're not talking about the furnace. And I also like to talk a little bit about mold, because there's a lot of misinformation and fear-mongering out there about mold. All homes have mold. There's thousands of types, and only 3 or 4 are the bad molds. And if you look on the Environment Canada website, it talks about areas as big as a sheet of plywood being okay for the everyday homeowner to clean themselves. If you imagine that we lived in BC or Ontario, where they actually have humidity, mold comes every week and they wipe it off. A couple weeks later it's back and they clean it off again. So we're just very, very spoiled here in dry Alberta. We just don't have the mold problems that they do in the more humid areas. And I also like to talk a little bit about radon. Canadians are fairly underinformed about radon. Radon is just a naturally occurring gas that's coming up from the ground. It's everywhere. But southern Alberta and Saskatchewan do have the second highest levels in the world. And it's the leading cause of lung cancer after cigarette smoking, which it's soon to overtake cigarette smoking. And I highly recommend that every household does a long-term radon test kit. A proper test kit takes a minimum of 90 days to perform. And it's just, it is recommended you leave it in the house up to 1 year, because you do want to make sure to have some winter months in the duration of that test. It's just a little puck that hangs in your basement, and the kits always come with an envelope, so you just put it in the envelope and mail it away. So yeah, highly recommend that everyone does one of those. Not every single house needs remediation though, because I mean, even if you have higher levels, for me at my house, I only go into my basement like 2 or 3 times a month, where other people have their home office down there or their kids play down there or whatever. So, I mean, I wouldn't do remediation if I had slightly elevated levels where other people would, right? And remediation, generally speaking, is pretty easy in almost every house. They're just going to punch a hole in the floor, put a fan that's going to draw all the air from underneath the slab and pump it outside. So average cost for that's $2,500. The max is usually $3,500. So it's not a super big bill or anything like that. So I do have an information sheet here for you. This I've made along with Radon Care. So there's a bunch of information here. Give it a read. If you have any questions, these guys are great. They're not going to try and talk you into remediation if it's not something that you don't need for your family. And this is a sheet with some energy saving tips on it. And this sheet I've been making over the last 15 years, where I've been gathering up all the questions that home buyers have been asking me and made a list of them. Nice. So there's a lot of interesting information there. And this sheet explains the extra features. You guys get a 5-year roof leak warranty, as well as a 90-day warranty on mechanical, structural, mold, and sewer. Essentially what that means is within 90 days of today, if the furnace quits, if the sewer backs up, if there's any plumbing leaks found, if when they move all their furniture out, there's mold found that we weren't able to see today, all of that would be paid for. Also going to submit all the appliances to a recall check. So if there's ever been any recalls, you can have those fixed at the manufacturer's expense. If you replace any appliances, you can just take a snapshot of the data plate and upload those so they're protected as well. This is a concierge service where they can help you switch over the utilities into your name, as well as get you deals on security systems and satellite systems. And they are actually the provider of this program, and they do contact you in about a week or so. And they also give you access to a free homeowner call center for life. Any questions about any of the systems of the home, you can give them a call. And then also, I'm going to put all of these shut-off labels on all of the utilities in the basement. And I put some labels on here so you guys can keep all your home documents in here, your maintenance folder. And
That's awesome. Thank you.
two more things I like to mention. One is that I'm self-employed, so I do have to answer my phone. I do allow plenty of time, so even if I have to grab a call or two, we will by no means be rushed. And I have for you a new tape measure.
A new one.
You
Yay.
cannot have too many
That's
tape
right.
measures.
We will need that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Perks
Thank you.
galore.
Gift with purchase.
Do you guys have any questions before we get started?
I don't right now. Thank you for this. This was
Absolutely.
very informative and
Yeah,
helpful.
absolutely.
Appreciate
Not
it.
right now. Later.
Okay, well, we're going to get going.
Yeah.
And